don't really know where to start with this video. It's been a while again. I kind of went MIA for a month or so. I think that's probably one of the longest times I've not posted a video. But here we are. I'm also not sure if I'm completely in focus because I'm short-sighted, so we're gonna hope that I'm in focus, but if I'm a little bit fuzzy, that's a mood. It kind of goes well with this video, so we'll roll with it if I am. But yeah, I kind of disappeared for a month or so. I took July off of my Patreon, so I paused my Patreon. I had a lot of things going on just in general in my life, and I needed to slow down. I didn't have enough time to figure out what my artwork and stuff I was doing for July, so instead of rushing and stressing, I just paused it and worked on the August and October collections instead. I definitely needed that. But since July ended, a few more things kind of happened, and I've decided to make some bigger changes in general with what I'm doing online. I have written myself notes because I kind of want to try and get all of this stuff in one video so I don't have to keep repeating it or mentioning things that I forgot to mention and stuff. So yeah, there's good things and bad things that I'm going to talk about. It's not all going to be doom and gloom, stress, stress, stress. There is some fun things. I'm going to start with a positive thing because this is probably the best thing that came out of the last few months of rubbishness. And that is that me and Meg started a podcast called the Crafternoon podcast. It was quite frankly the most terrifying thing I've done in a while. It's something I've been very reluctant to do when I've been invited on other people's podcasts, but Meg came to me and asked if I wanted to do this project with her. Meg is someone I've known for quite a few years now. I've only met her twice. I think it was twice we worked out. Yeah, I get along with her so well, so I was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a podcast. She does all of the planning and editing and like producing of the podcast, so she does a lot of the work that goes into it. I'm kind of just co-host, chatty person, but it was really, really fun, and it did definitely push my comfort zone with talking, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was launched a couple of weeks ago now. We've got 2. By the time this video goes up, there'll be 2 episodes up. One of them is just us chatting, talking about how we met and our little crafty journeys. We did want to mix it up a bit and have some where it's just us chatting and some where we talk to other people. We've tried to do little themes and topics to talk about each time, so it changes them up a little bit. But yeah, if you're interested in listening, I'll have a link below to, I think you can listen to it on Spotify, YouTube. She'll upload them on her YouTube channel. But yeah, that was a super fun thing that we kind of worked on over June, July, might have even been May as well. But we've been recording these when we've had time, and then we're releasing them fortnightly from 2 weeks ago. So there's 2 up now, and there's still quite a few to come. Over the past couple of months, I have been doing a lot of juggling. I can't juggle, I wish I could. It's kind of like a bucket list thing, but anyway. Yeah, I've been juggling a lot of things, more than I was prepared for, shall we say. Work stuff is a juggling act in itself. I'm trying to juggle Patreon, YouTube, my Instagram, all the shop stuff, and any other like content collaborations outside of that, and freelance work. So there's a lot of things which I love, don't get me wrong. This is something I am passionate about, I really enjoy it. I just feel like I've not found the perfect balance in terms of juggling things for me and for like my mental space. A lot of you guys know I have struggled with my mental health for years. I have been going back to the doctors to talk about my mental health, and I feel like I'm on a very different path with it compared to where I was a year ago. I've had a lot of things happen that would usually cause a relapse in my head, but it hasn't. I've managed to keep a hold of things, and yeah, it's not made me tumble particularly. But I have found out new things and there are new things that I'm going back to the doctors for. It's been a lot of tedious appointments of them not listening to me. I dealt with a receptionist who decided to give her opinion where it was not asked for. Just a lot of hurdles and tedious conversations and trying to convince them to listen to what I'm saying. That's been a struggle in itself, but it's kind of made me realise if I'm going along this journey of trying to figure these things out in my mind. Hello. Oh my goodness, you're adorable. Yeah, if I'm going to be going along this path, I need to give myself space. Right now my head is very, very full with work stuff, and I've kind of come to the conclusion where I need to relieve a bit of pressure in that sense. These videos always feel so all over the place. Even though I've written notes, I still don't know how to like give you the information in a orderly fashion. But yeah, basically I'm stressed. I haven't had a mental breakdown, but I feel like it could happen, so I'm trying to make the choices and decisions and stuff to avoid that. I've also been breaking out a lot on my face, which it's been pretty good up until like June, and then July it just, yeah, went crazy. But that was when all the stressful stuff started happening, so stress hormones hate me. I don't like putting my face on camera, I don't like taking photos when my face is really bad. I've got better with it when I have a breakout or something, but I also don't want it. It hurts, it's painful. So I'm trying my best to keep a hat on my stress. For the sake of my face and my mental health, basically, because at the end of the day it all links in. Like, I'm stressed because there's a lot going on in my head, so I break out my face, and then I'm very self-conscious and not very confident with how I'm feeling in myself, which then leads into my mental health stresses, which then leads into my stress, and then it's just a cycle, as I'm sure there's many people out there who know. They're probably in the same boat as me. In terms of little inconveniences that just didn't need to happen, I had my Cricut machine break. That was fun, but actually very simple to get replaced. The customer service guy was lovely. I was like, it's not being consistent with its mess ups, so help. And he was like, okay, record a video of what it's doing, send it to me. I did that, and within like a couple of minutes he was like, yeah, that's a sensor issue, we'll send you out a replacement machine. So I got a brand new Cricut machine. No charge. But that's sorted now. So with my work and like going forward, I also don't think I've mentioned it on my channel yet, which, or have I? No, I don't think I did. The last video I did was like me tidying my room because I was sad. Can you tell that I've not been very inspired with my videos recently? I think that was the last video. I did a creative journaling video because I did the collage sheets in a box for Lisa. So she sent me a box and I was like, yes, I'm doing a video. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've actually shared it. But I launched a load of stuff on my shop, which was a massive deal for me because until that point I'd only done like postcards, art prints, and that's about it. But I now have ephemera packs, which is a brand new thing I had to outsource, which I think I shared the process a little bit on one of my last vlogs that I did. But yeah, I found a manufacturer and got my art turned into ephemera packs. It was kind of like breaking through a bit of a wall because I've always wanted to create my own collections but also have them turned into actual products that people can use in their own projects and journals. I obviously have the collections that I do on Patreon, but I wanted something that could be about a bit longer because Patreon is like very limited in its timing. The things that I put on there are pretty much like there for a month and then they're gone. So I wanted to make collections that I could have on the shop with different things so people can browse and pick and choose from different collections, and yeah, so I finally did that. I got the ball rolling. I now have ephemera packs and postcard packs, and I'm currently in the process of stickers, so that's fun. Stressful but fun. But here is my kind of issue and where the changes are going to come into play a bit. I've kind of flip-flopped back and forward between my Patreon and the Happy Mail tiers and whether it is a good idea to continue them. I love doing them, I love sending out Happy Mail, I love putting them together, I love finding all the bits and pieces and putting them into like one collection. But there were recently some changes with the VAT customs fees thing in terms of any mail that is sent outside of the UK now, the customer has to pay the VAT when it reaches the border of their country. These changes have come off the back of Brexit, which I hate. I was not for Brexit in the slightest. I knew that it would cause issues in my business, and it could be detrimental to my business because I'm a small business. I don't have tons of money stored away. I don't have a team of people to figure out all these things for me, all these changes that are happening. It has been a massive learning curve this year in terms of all the changes and trying to figure out how to adapt to them. And I think I've done pretty well up until this point of adapting and just kind of like making small changes to make things as streamlined as possible for me and for people who are patrons and customers of the products that I put out there. But when they changed this VAT thing, I lost basically half of the people who were on the Happy Mail tiers, which I don't blame them at all, because if I found out that I was going to have to pay more money on top of what I was paying through Patreon, I would probably drop down too, because it's just more money that's, in my mind, unnecessary. Like, I get it, it's kind of come out of nowhere, but I also can't ignore the fact that I've lost quite a few patrons because of this. And with Patreon it's complicated because, especially if I'm sending out physical items to people, on my top tier, which is the biggest Happy Mail bundle, there are 20 slots. Whether there are 20 people on those spaces or not, I still need to buy the products and make the boxes up and stuff for 20 people, because if people join during the month then they will expect Happy Mail. I have no issue at all with people dropping in and out of Patreon. Like, that's the point of it, is being able to cancel anytime, join whenever you want, and then just join when there's a perk that you want or when you feel like you want to support the creator. Like, you can pick and choose, that's the point of it, and I love that. But as a creator, especially when something that dramatic happens, like half of my patrons disappear, it's quite a big change. I've also found over the past few months that creating an art collection, like a collection of art every single month, and then creating the products for the Happy Mail boxes as well as products for the shop, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. So yeah, the VAT thing, definitely, it was a part of what I've decided to do. But I think the main thing that has kind of brought me to this decision is I have been creating and designing a whole new art collection every single month for about 2 years now. I think I've had my Patreon 3 or 4 years, but I wasn't doing the collections quite like I am now. That's only been the last couple of years. But the fact that I have rebooted my shop and I have so many opportunities with that and creating new products and doing things I've always wanted to do, it's made me realise that creating very disposable art collections for Patreon, which are only there for a month, it's just not really what I want to do anymore. I want to make sure that the time I'm putting into my art and designing things and designing products is going towards things that can be about for a little longer than a month. Having an art collection is great and I love it, and I wish I could kind of scream and shout about it a lot more and create content using it a lot more, but the fact that I've only got like a month to create content about it and share it and shout about it, I just don't have the time to create the content I want to create around my own stuff, like my own art and my own products. So the conclusion to this big long ramble of me trying to kind of explain the reasons for why I've got to this point. Not that I have to, like, this is, you know, my own personal career journey, I suppose you could say, business journey. It's something I don't have to share with you guys, but for the sake of perspective and just kind of seeing the thought process and what goes into running a small business and the changes and the decisions you have to make, here I am explaining it. The conclusion that I've come to for Patreon is September is going to be the last month where I have a Happy Mail tier, or Happy Mail tiers. I am going to be removing the Happy Mail tiers for October. In September I will have another post go up on my Patreon to remind people, because once I delete those tiers there'll be people who were on those tiers who will just kind of be floating in the Patreon sphere. I will be keeping the digital tiers, so there's one tier which is the first tier, it's just a thank you tier. It means you get a little thank you in the end slate of my videos. The other two tiers you actually get stuff. There is the pink tier, which is the collage sheet and early access tier, and you get a discount to the shop. And then there's the teal tier, which is 2 extra exclusive creative videos each month, and the collage sheets and the discount and the early access. So from October, those are the only 3 tiers I'm going to have on my Patreon. The Happy Mail ones will be deleted. At some point I do want to do a Happy Mail tier again, but I need to have a proper think about it, because I need to make sure, for one, it's worth my time doing, but also obviously I have to consider now anyone who's not in the UK might have to pay, or almost guaranteed to have to pay, VAT on top of the price, so I need to make sure the price is appealing enough. And I don't have the brain space to be doing that right now. So I'm going to focus on my shop stuff. So in terms of physical things, products, content, my shop will be the place to go rather than my Patreon. My Patreon, I will be providing digital perks. I think the collage sheet tier is my most popular tier anyway, and I love seeing people using them and sharing photos. It's just, it's so nice to see. But yeah, and then the video tier, I'll be continuing that as well. Those 2 tiers don't take up too much time or money for me to produce content for. I also don't want to stress too much about designing a load of products every single month. Like, if I don't want to design a shop collection for a month or so, I don't have to. So that is why I've decided to do that. I've also got a lot of really stressful things happening in September. It's going to be a lot of like mental stuff that I'm going to have to deal with, and I don't want to be stressing about having to get a collection designed and products made and Happy Mail sent out. So yeah, I'm getting all the September stuff done and prepped as soon as possible so it's all ready before the month starts, and then October we're starting a new path with Patreon. I did work out that each month to create and design and pack all the Happy Mail stuff and get it sent, it's a week's worth of my time. So by removing those 2 tiers, I'm going to be given an entire week, pretty much. I think it was a little less than a week. But I'm going to be given that time back to either work on other things for the shop, work on other products, work on content, or if I need it, I'm going to be able to rest, which I think I'm going to need it. So that is where I'm at. Those are the changes that I'm going to be making. I am really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a bit of a change, having a bit of a break from doing all the content for the Happy Mail boxes, and I'm really looking forward to running my shop properly again. I've always enjoyed having a shop. That's where my self-employment started. I had a jewellery shop and I loved it. I just wasn't as passionate about jewellery as I am about paper. And now I'm at this point where I can have my little shop going that I've always wanted, and I want to go for it. I do want to bring vlogs back, but I think I'm going to give myself like September to just be chill, not have to worry about them. I'm going to have a lot going on and I just don't want to add more to my shoulders. I hope that this video has made sense. I'll try and brief it out in the description because you might have got to this point and not know what the heck I'm on about. But yeah, that is where I'm at. I am coping is the best way to put it. Like I'm still having days where I can smile, but then I do have really heavy days, and right now I'm just trying to even that out a bit so it doesn't quite go so flip-floppy. I want it to be a bit more of like a consistent okay days and maybe one little dip and then back onto the consistent. Right now it's like whoop, 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 whoop. Have I been wonky this whole time? I feel like it's a bit like that. I've been wonky this whole time, haven't I? Oh well. That's where we're at. I'm doing okay. I'm dealing with stuff. That's the bottom line. And I said that I wasn't going to do any more changes this year to my Patreon, and then things got too much with the VAT changes and the general life personal things that have happened this summer. I can't do it anymore. I just need to put the brakes on with some of it so I can deal with myself and my head and my life. Out of all of my social media, Instagram is probably the best place to stay up to date with things. I do plan on posting some videos during September, like creative ones, and obviously if you're on the video Patreon tier then you're going to get videos, but yeah, I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to get XYZ number of videos done. I'll just go with it and share what I want to share. But yeah, I hope you're all doing very well, and if you're not, I hope you're coping. It's been a tough few years, so I wouldn't blame anyone who has fallen off the horse a bit. I've fallen off so many horses, but I've got back on. I'm gonna go and edit this video. I can't remember how I end my videos. How do I end them? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. That's how I end my videos, I remember. Did that work? I can't see. Yeah, they're dirty. Are we in focus? I think so. Oh, I can't tell. October. No, not the one. It's not October. Great start, well done. I can't actually remember what colours they are. Hold on, let me get this right. These are the things I probably should have written down, but my brain's like, now we're just going to jump in. Those are the options. Thank you, Meg. I'll read that in a minute. Let's not get distracted. I don't know if you can tell, I put hair dye in my hair, so I'm a bit more ginger now. It kind of goes ginger in some lights, and then it looks like nothing's changed in other lights, so. But yeah. Oh, this is so bright. Don't think that makes any difference. Oh, can you see her little hands, her little paws? I don't think I can. I can. Look at that for a pooped dog. Let me see, is she in focus? I don't know. This is my dog. Bonnie is still doing very well. She puts up with my casual crying sessions and overwhelmedness very well. She's a good little doggo, aren't you? Dozy dog. Good dozy dog. So leave me alone.